Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, your reliable source for the most critical updates on Iraq's economic progress, revaluation developments, and international positioning. Today's report shines a spotlight on an unprecedented wave of institutional approvals from the IMF, World Bank, and U.S. Treasury, all signaling Iraq's entry into a transformative financial era. With major reforms underway and clear signals from the Central Bank of Iraq, this moment could redefine Iraq's standing in the global economic order. Something extraordinary is unfolding in Iraq, and this time, the signs aren't subtle. For the first time in years, Iraqi media, typically known for restraint and ambiguity, is delivering a unified, resounding message. Iraq is preparing to go international. This isn't empty political rhetoric. It's being echoed across news outlets, official communications, and economic briefings, creating a unified pulse of optimism that suggests something major is underway. At the heart of this movement is Ali Mohsen al-Alak, the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq. Unlike the loud political showmanship of the past, al-Alak has adopted a calm, focused approach. Through deliberate policy moves and strategic reforms, he's setting the foundation for something Iraq hasn't seen in decades: monetary credibility and international confidence. One of the most impactful developments so far has been the alignment of Iraq's official exchange rate with that of the central bank. In a country where black market transactions have often distorted the value of the dinar, this is not a small step. It represents financial stabilization, improved control, and a signal that Iraq is ready to take its place in formal financial systems. Then came the revelation that shook observers. Iraq has reportedly received full approval from the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the U.S. Treasury. These are not casual endorsements. These institutions carry the weight of global policy, and their support signals that Iraq has successfully passed through a demanding process of economic and structural reform. It's a global vote of confidence, earned, not gifted. So why is this happening now? The answer lies in more than just currency reform. Iraq's journey toward economic reformation has long been entangled in post-war recovery, internal corruption, and political infighting. But now, the narrative is shifting. Instead of conflict, the media landscape is full of anticipation, backed by clean energy initiatives, infrastructure investments, regional partnerships, and foreign investor briefings. All these elements point toward an imminent leap into global financial legitimacy. One phrase that keeps echoing throughout economic forums and news broadcasts is, "The ultimate change is coming upon us." And while such language may sound hyperbolic, the context makes it clear. It's more than just hope. It's part of a carefully structured plan for transformation. What Iraq is experiencing now is not a sudden burst of optimism, but a strategic rollout of reforms, diplomacy, and confidence building. Citizens are seeing tangible changes, from energy projects to modernized banking policies. The groundwork for international economic integration is becoming undeniable. The architect behind much of this progress, al-Alak, has avoided the spotlight. Instead of dramatic declarations, he's focused on quiet diplomacy and disciplined economic planning. And it's working. With the IMF, World Bank, and U.S. Treasury on board, Iraq's financial institutions are gaining legitimacy at the highest levels. Even more telling is the shift in tone from Iraq's own media. There's a widespread sense of authentic optimism, not artificially injected, but clearly coordinated. This isn't the type of coverage meant to distract the public. Instead, it's helping prepare the Iraqi people for what lies ahead, economic inclusion, market reform, and global trade participation. Not just opening its doors, not just to capital and investment, but to international credibility. This moment could mark the beginning of a new chapter, a rebirth not driven by war or oil alone, but by strategy, reform, and institutional backing. This shift has deep implications, not just for Iraq's people, but for investors, neighboring governments, and global financial markets. A nation long viewed with skepticism is now being considered a rising economic player. The unified endorsements from global institutions are a clarion call. Iraq is ready. But such progress doesn't come without risk. Challenges remain. Corruption hasn't been eradicated, and political complexities are still present. Yet, for the first time in years, Iraq's forward motion appears steady, measured, and genuine. The fire of reform, once flickering, is now clearly burning, steady and visible to the world. If there's one message emerging from Iraq's leadership and media landscape, it's this: Iraq's transformation is no longer speculative, it's underway. For the Iraqi people, this shift represents more than economics. It symbolizes redemption, dignity, and a reclaiming of global identity. Decades of conflict, foreign occupation, and economic collapse have shaped the Iraqi psyche. But now, instead of dwelling on a history of hardship, the people of Iraq are being encouraged to look forward with cautious optimism. After years of financial isolation, Iraq is not being rescued, it is resurrecting itself. Not through external pressure, but through deliberate domestic action. This change is visible on multiple levels. The reformed banking infrastructure, fiscal transparency, international audits, and diplomatic engagements all signal that Iraq is shedding its reputation as an unstable outlier and stepping into a role as a strategic economic player. This is not a gift from the world, it's a position Iraq has worked to earn. The most powerful indicators are institutional. The IMF, World Bank, and U.S. Treasury have all signed off on Iraq's progress. That kind of endorsement only comes after strict evaluation. These organizations don't make symbolic gestures. They certify systemic readiness. When they collectively approve, it means Iraq's reforms are no longer theoretical. They are recognized as functional and reliable. On the ground, you can feel this change taking root. Clean energy projects are beginning. Trade negotiations with Western and regional partners are increasing. Media campaigns are pushing out messages not of warning, but of hope, and not blindly, but based on policy shifts and approvals already in motion. So, what does this mean for the Iraqi dinar? Everything. When a currency is backed by a reformed economic system, acknowledged by international institutions, and supported by domestic legislative control, it moves from speculative to strategic. The dinar is now being positioned for potential global recognition, and while no official exchange rate revaluation has been confirmed, the groundwork is laid. Iraq has checked the boxes that financial analysts have long identified as prerequisites for an exchange rate stabilization, central bank independence, reduced corruption and black market influence, institutional approval from global financial bodies, functional and modernized payment infrastructure. This alignment of factors is rare. For investors, this moment isn't just about profit, it's about recognizing that Iraq is emerging as a legitimate financial entity with a functioning economy and increasingly stable political architecture. Still, caution is key. Reforms take time to solidify, global systems take even longer to adapt, and political dynamics in Iraq remain complex. But none of that negates the reality. Iraq is advancing with purpose. The message, delivered calmly but firmly by officials and echoed by global partners, is that Iraq's economic rise is not accidental. It's orchestrated. The phrase, "it's happening on their dime," has never rung truer. Iraq is leading this shift on its own terms, not through emergency bailouts or imposed recovery plans, but through domestic vision and global cooperation. To the viewers of Iraqi Dinar News, this is your call to stay informed, be strategic, and think long-term. Whether you're an investor, analyst, or someone holding IQD in hope of future value, the time for random speculation is over. The time for smart, data-backed preparation is now. This transformation is not just economic, it's psychological. Iraq is rebranding itself from a nation of instability to one of opportunity. That shift in identity is being supported by global institutions, validated by neighboring governments, and recognized by financial markets. We often say history is written by those who take action before the crowd catches up. Today, Iraq is taking that action. From Baghdad to Basra, from central banks to currency exchanges, Iraq is setting the stage for a full financial revival. So, what should you do now? Stay educated on each reform. Watch closely for updates from the Central Bank of Iraq. Track changes in international banking behavior toward IQD. Avoid sensationalism. Look for validated official updates. And most importantly, stay connected to trusted sources like Iraqi Dinar News. This journey isn't over, but we may be reaching the most important chapter yet. The silence has been broken. The approvals have been granted. The momentum is building. The world is listening, are you? Thank you for staying with us. If you found this report insightful, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Your perspective helps our community remain strong, informed, and prepared for what's next. And as always, stay tuned to Iraqi Dinar News for continuing updates as Iraq steps into its long-awaited role on the global economic stage.